Alright, so boom. So we back again. Talk Tech with 50 or Randall, however you may know me. It's whatever, you feel me? I'm Randall. I'm 50. Welcome to the Talk Tech with 50 channel. Pretty sure you already seen the thumbnail. We're going to talk how a hacker that Karen will hire to take down an Instagram page. But we're doing a non-technical version today. So this is pretty much going to be an overview, pretty much of what happened and ways that, you know, people can prevent their social medias from getting hacked. Before we go any forward, you know what I mean? Like, definitely want to give a shout out to everybody who's been supporting me and subscribing throughout this YouTube journey. This, I think, is my third video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely, if you got anything that you want to see me talk about or hear me talk about, definitely put it in the comment section, and I got you. All right. So let's get into all this hacker stuff. First off, don't ask me to hack anybody you know stuff. I'm not hacking nobody's baby mama stuff, nobody's baby daddy, nobody's third cousin, sister, ex-husband's lawyers. I ain't doing none of that stuff. Please don't ask me. And second of all, I don't wish anybody get their, social medias or anything of theirs hacked. I don't wish that on nobody. That's not cool. So there's that. So, there's often like a lot of misconceptions when it comes to hacking and hackers and what they do. Hackers are people just like you and I. Hackers don't always have super malicious intent. Sometimes it's not personal, it's just business. More times than not, hackers fall into two categories. They either do what they do for monetary purposes, or they do what they do, to support a cause. A good example of that is, Anonymous. What they do, it's not for money, but it's for a cause, to make a statement, and depending on who you ask, their intent really isn't malicious. They're not out there to hurt or deface anybody, right? And so when you have a hacker, like let's say they're doing it for monetary reasons, right? So I'll give you just an example. So let's say there's some high-powered executive or, somebody high-powered in the government, and most people outside of IT, don't really have the best, security awareness, as we call it, in the industry. They don't have the best security awareness. So they might click on something, they might get something, that, expose their credentials or one of their devices. And let's say the hacker gets wind of this, and the hacker finds, pictures in his phone of somebody who's having an affair with. So then the hacker will get in contact with said person and said, hey, either you pay me money and I give you these pictures back, or I don't tell the world, or, I'll expose these to your wife, I'll expose these to news outlets, it's going to be a big, big, big payday. So either way it goes, the hacker's going to get paid. And that's just like a little small example, whether true or false, it has a possibility of happening. And I'm pretty sure you've seen this a lot of times in movies, or you might have a hacker that, is for a cause, like they support, rights over here or rights over there, or they don't like that this company supports this person. So what they're going to do is they're going to do something with this company. They're going to release all the credentials or something like that, or they might not do something that's as damaging to the public as releasing credentials, but they might do something that would, hurt more so the people up top than the people that the company actually supports. And so that's usually what you see with hackers. Then there are some that just want to watch the world burn. It happens, there's different types of people, but more times than not, it's usually one of those two. All right. And so, I was on Clubhouse like 2-3 days ago, or was that last weekend? I think that was last weekend. And I was in the room, where I heard, yeah, I hired, a hacker, and then somebody came on and admitted it. So let's talk about how this hacker actually could take down an Instagram page. Did they hack Instagram? Did they hack somebody's account? Did they do this? Did they do that? So I'm going to explain to you a little bit of, how it works and more than likely what they did. So it's not so much that they themselves hacked Instagram. Chances are they didn't have to hack anything. I'll tell you why. So I'm not sure if everybody pays attention to the news, but you always hear something about this breach, that breach. You'll hear like records of users, like 500 million user records, like usernames and passwords have been exposed to the public. And this type of thing happens almost on a yearly basis. There's probably like billions of users' names and passwords, that's out there. And they're usually released to the public, and then sold on the dark web. And usually hackers will buy these credentials, like your usernames and your passwords and your email addresses and all that. And so they already, chances are, have that stuff, because people who don't work in IT, usually their password hygiene isn't like how ours is. IT people usually have probably like a whole slew of passwords for different stuff, 15 characters, all uppercase, lowercase, symbols, numbers, multi-factor authentication with either the Google or Microsoft app, not the multi-factor authentication where it sends a text to your phone, because those can be read and compromised too. So not everybody has that kind of hygiene that would make it, infinitely tougher for, somebody to hack or compromise. And chances are that's pretty much what happened. I don't think it was a man-in-the-middle attack where they were in the same place and they were on the same wireless network. That probably wasn't it. I doubt it was a phish, because, based off of what I've been hearing, like other sites and other things were taken down as well. So I don't think it was a phish, or I don't think that was the primary vector. I think if there was something else that needed to happen from the multi-factor part, if they were using text verification for their multi-factor authentication, then I think a phish could have been used. But besides that, I just think it was compromised credentials. And so here's how that works. And so when these people have all these compromised credentials, they post them out there. Usually hackers buy them on the dark web or whatever. Okay, cool. And so you have targeted people like this one was. You have people that, they're targeted for their Instagram page because somebody paid them. Or you have, a bot just so happened to, stumble upon your password and your username because it's easy, and now your Facebook or your Instagram is now hacked. That tends to happen to people actually quite a lot. I know people personally that it's happened to, and more times than not, when people get their social medias quote unquote hacked, it's probably by somebody that they know. If nobody paid money to have your page compromised or quote unquote taken down, chances are it was by somebody more times than not. Disgruntled family member. Most of the time, from what I've seen, it's always been a significant other, because people share their passwords with significant others. And for the life of me, I can't understand why. But, don't. Because people don't change their passwords, and most people aren't secure when it comes to their social media or anything for that matter. And so, when these credentials do and will get, compromised and published, your stuff is at risk, to get compromised or taken over. So that's if nobody was targeting you. But if somebody was targeting you like this, then it's a whole other ballgame. So what they probably have like a tool or something that they can use to find like every single username. So like, let's say I have the Talk Tech with 50 channel. So I could put in my username in this tool, and then this tool would see if that username exists from like 100 different websites, including YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and so on. And so that way you could find all of the sites, you know, that have my username or any username that's tied to me. And then you also have those compromised credentials I told you about. So if you know somebody's username or email address, then you can find, you know, their hash password. And I'm not going to get into hashing today, you know, but you can find the hash password. And then you can find it for any other account that you think might be linked to it. And then from there, all the hard work is done for the most part. Now, all you got to do is just, you know, do what you got to do and get that password decrypted. You know, that's really the final step. And then most people, they don't use like 15 character passwords and, you know, super difficult passwords, because what people don't realize is the more difficult these passwords are, the tougher and the longer it would take for an algorithm to crack it. You know, that's just the math and the science behind it. You pretty much have to make a password so tough that it would take this thing years or centuries for this password to even crack, you know, greatly lessening your chance of getting, you know, compromised. And that's pretty much how this account got compromised. You know, they were able to find the password, then they were able to log in and pretty much take it down. And see, the crazy part is, you know, I heard, you know, from an interview that the hacker in question, they didn't get paid. So they ended up just, you know, giving, I think it was Jason Lee. They ended up giving Jason Lee his stuff back. I don't know if there was an agreement they came to or money they paid, but the hacker probably was just like, you know, here you go, here's your stuff back. I didn't get paid, you know, because they don't have a dog in the fight. It was just business, you know. So the big takeaway from this video is I want people to be more secure when it comes to their social media. Definitely you want to stop sharing passwords with people. You definitely want to use more complex passwords and turn on multi-factor authentication. You definitely want to do that. I can't tell you how many times that I've seen people, you know, with, oh, my original account was hacked, you know, or, you know, there are people scrambling trying to get, you know, a hacked or a locked out account, you know, just re-enabled or something like that. And here's another thing. If you don't know somebody who has high up status that can, you know, contact one of these companies and do what you got to do, you know, for you blue checks out there. If you don't have a blue check, you know, we just got to hope that we can recover our account, you know, unfortunately, you know, or if we not, you know, plugged in like that, you know. But for a good 99% of people, you know, there is no quote unquote service that can get you your Instagram account back. Any service or any app or any website that says they can do it, it's really a scam. You know, to be completely honest, it's a scam. They're just doing that so they can get your credentials. They can compromise your stuff so that way they can use that as a vector to compromise other stuff like, you know, your email, bank accounts, you know, whatever, you know, just so they could be more so of a pain in the ass. Nothing, you know, actually detrimental, but, you know, more so of an annoyance. Right? So definitely stop sharing your passwords. Use pretty secure passwords. Use multi-factor authentication for your social media sites. For the emails that are connected or that you use to sign up with these social media sites, those emails need to have multi-factor authentication too. Because if that email address is set up to be your recovery address and that email is compromised as well, then you won't be able to pretty much recover your account. So not only do you lose your social media, but you also lose your email, which probably has like your bank stuff going to it, you know, investment stuff going to it. And now whoever has hold of that account, they can have a field day with that account. They can just, lost password, do the whole reset password thing for pretty much everything you have an account for, and then they'll have access to it. I mean, it's really that simple. And I know that I probably went, I guess, like a little bit overboard with trying to, with these examples, because most people aren't really going to go that far unless you really, really tick them off, but I'm just showing, how deep the rabbit hole really can go, if you don't protect your stuff. Like I've had plenty of people that ask me, that I've helped them recover, some accounts, but by using, like the password recovery stuff, and what I would do is, like, I would tell people, make sure you always set up recovery emails for all your social media. Make sure you have a recovery email set up for the email that's in the recovery email. That way, even if you lose the email account of the one you set up with, you still have a recovery email for that one, so you can at least go and get that back. Because it's not like you can call or put in a ticket with Google or Microsoft to get your Hotmail or your Yahoo account back. You just lose it. 7 years ago, I lost one of my main email accounts. I got while I was in college. And it was ugly. I had a chance to work for a very, very, very big company doing IT, in my 20s, and I couldn't email them back because my email had been compromised. Ever since then, long, tough passwords, multi-factor authentication for everything. And I know it's just one extra step, but really think about this. For you people where all your money and most of your business comes in through social media, would you rather take one extra step to make sure that, that your account is secure? Or would you rather lose your social media and, one of the main ways you make your money? And now you have to create another page, tell people that you really rock with to follow your new page because your old page got hacked. You can prevent all that. It's very preventable. Don't share your passwords. Create longer passwords. Multi-factor authentication for everything. And also what you can use is, I'm not sure if it's a feature. I probably have it switched on for everything. But there's usually a feature where you can turn on notifications for new sign-ins. That way, you'll know if somebody logged into your Instagram or your Facebook and where they logged in from. And you can kill their session. That's another thing that will help detect if, somebody does have your password. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Let's say that somebody has my Instagram password. Okay, cool. Somebody has 50's Instagram password. So they try to log into my Instagram. Okay, cool. So on my phone and in my email, I'm going to get something that says, hey, somebody tried to log into your account. And then, I have multi-factor on, so of course I'm going to deny that. But somebody was able to get access. So that means I need to change my password. And if any other service or email or anything else that I'm signed in with that email and password, I need to go to that website or that application and change that password. I know it sounds daunting, but nowadays social media is everything. Social media is everything. It's the top apps, it's the top websites. A lot of blog sites, everything revolves around everything that's going on with social media. And so if you're a presence on social media, especially if you're a presence on social media or you spend more time on social media than anything, you definitely should, protect yourself, protect your investment, and if anybody needs some help, I'm right here. You feel me? So this was more so of the non-technical walkthrough of, you know, how Jason Lee's account got disabled or compromised. And probably next week, I'll go into more of like a deeper dive of like what was done to like give you some like the terms and technologies. And especially if you're trying to get into cybersecurity or IT security or whatever, you'll definitely want to tune in, because I'm going to be using like a lot of the terms and the concepts that you'll see like when studying for your Security Plus or CISSP or CISM or CEH or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was, you know, pretty much it. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on multi-factor authentication, please. I'm tired of going into IG bios to see my original account was hacked. Let's try and put a stop to this, you know, if we can. All right, y'all. I'm 50. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I'll catch y'all later.